Hello everybody, welcome to another video. This time we are going to be grading the yellow cards from X-Records. Yellow as a whole adds a good chunk of cards to decks that already exist, like Mastodon and Armor Rush. Overall, there's no new decks that are coming out from the yellow, but they do add some cards that will receive a lot of support. So it's cool. So let's take a look at some of the yellow cards from this set. First, this is my grading system. If you need to pause it to take a look at it, A, B, C, D, F. That's all we're gonna do. I'm a teacher. This is how I grade, and let's go ahead and. So first, Pokemon X-Antibody. This card is cool. It's a baby. The card is added to your security stack, which a lot of yellow does, of course. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1,000 for the turn. It is once per turn, so you can't do it multiple times. If it was, that would make it an A, no problem. However, right now it's a C+. It's almost a B. I think it's a solid baby. I believe many decks will run it at 4. Just because you can do minus 1,000 smaller Digimon and destroy some of them. Get some pesky little Digimon out of there. And if you have a couple of them, you definitely take it out. Some level 3s that are being out on the field. So, pretty solid card. I like it. It's not going to be game-breaking egg, like, for example, the blue eggs past. But this is still pretty solid. Continuing on, we have Toyagumon and Pillowmon. Both of these cards are nothing to write home about. Toyagumon, I'm giving it a D because it could theoretically be run in a Rookie Rush situation. Drop for 2, swings for 3. Honestly, this is pretty much an F for the most part, but I just think there's a few cards that deserve an F in this Toyagumon, because this Toyagumon could at least be dropped in a couple of decks of the past. Pillowmon, which is going to get a grade of a C. All it does is all turns players can't play Digimon by effects. This is actually pretty strong counter to purple. It's not a very strong Digimon, however, so it'll probably get popped more often than not. You definitely want to have this ability. It's solid. This is more of a C- because I just don't think people are going to be running this card in particular. You don't want to leave this out there to be destroyed as often as it probably will. Right, so I don't see this card being in a lot of decks. I think it will definitely be often. Next, Salamon X-Antibody and Starmon. Salamon X-Antibody actually is going to receive a B+. It's a solid card. What it does is it can Digivolve for 0 from a regular Salamon. So if you have purple Salamon, you have yellow Salamon, any of the Salamons that have come out, starter deck, or any of the BTs, this Digimon can Digivolve on top of it, maintain the same level, but it gets its Digivolving effect. You look at the top card of your security stack, and you may choose to add it to your hand, and if you do, you recover +1. So you get a free peek at your top of your security. If you like it, you can leave it. If you don't, you can take it and replace it with something else. That's worth a B+ in my book. That's pretty much a lot to do from a rookie to be able to grab a resource and recover a card, put more cards in your hand, and or get that information off the top of your deck. That's pretty strong. I really like that ability. This is a B+. This is a pretty high grade card here. Starmons, play cost of 4, Digivolves for 2, 6,000 DP. If this was a pre-release, you could probably drop it for 4, but it'll probably not be strong enough to kill a lot of things. This is an F card. I don't think this is good at all. Starmon's probably not in any decks whatsoever, unless it's very Starmon specific. And I think at the moment there's no Starmon specific deck, so they like that. Next, the 2 armor forms that are coming in this set. We have Nefertimon and I guess this one. Both of these cards are cool, solid armors. They have armor purge, they have the same DP, 5,000, 5,000. They Digivolve for 3, which is okay. Armors usually Digivolve for that because they get the armor purge. Both of them have an ability, and because of their ability, they're both going to receive a grade of a C. They are both solid cards. I don't think decks are going to be built around these cards at all. But the abilities are actually pretty nice. Nefertimon. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP for the turn whenever you attack. No limit on the turns. If you were able to unsuspend this, it would do minus 2,000 lots of times. So because of the armor and the minus 2,000, which is a solid number to have, this is going to receive a C+. Very, very good. It just may not work in a lot of decks. You could probably put it in an Armor Rush deck. But you can. It also digivolves from Gatomon, which is the same level. Gatomon's a level 4 card. Just kind of sideways digivolving. And there are some cool Gatomons that you can digivolve off of that we'll talk about in a little bit. And Pegasusmon, when digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gains security check -1. That's a solid ability by itself. And the fact that this is both yellow and blue adds a little bit more to the value of the Pegasusmon card. It doesn't digivolve from blue, but it does digivolve from Patamon, which can be blue. So this can fit into the card. It's a little bit more versatility. While its ability is not as great in my opinion, it's still pretty good. To take security attack -1 from one of your opponents for the turn, it's pretty good. I like that ability. C+, C+. Next, Gatomon X-Antibody. So this one can digivolve from a regular Gatomon. And then, because it has Gatomon in its name, it could actually go up into the card that we just talked about, the Nefertimon. And what this card does is when attacking, if you have 3 or more security cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gains -2000. You could potentially stack this with the 2000 of the one attacking from the Nefertimon. That's going to be pretty strong. Therefore, this card gets a B-. The ability plus being able to digivolve from a Gatomon, plus play cost is actually relatively cheap. This is a really good card. I like it a lot. This is probably going to be run in some yellow decks. I can't see somebody running 4 of in most situations, but I think this is Dark Superstarmon is going to get a D. It's a 2-color card. High DP. If this DP was not as high as it is, and if it wasn't 2-color, this is a easy F. But maybe this adds a little bit of versatility if you're trying to experiment with yellow and black. Not a lot of cards that do that. So it gives a D. I don't see this in any decks. Of course, have some Starmon. This set that comes out, that's not the case at the moment. So it's going to receive a D for now. I like some of the things that it has. I personally would love to run a yellow-black deck, but unfortunately. Next, Angewomon X-Antibody and Rice Greymon X-Antibody, the 2 level 5 X-Antibody cards. Angewomon is going to receive a B. I like it a lot. It digivolves from 0 from a regular Angewomon. And when it does this, when digivolving, your opponent's Digimon gains security check -1. That by itself is solid, but if you're digivolving from an Angewomon or a card with X-Antibody, the option under it, and you have 5 or fewer, you get to recover a card, which is solid, which is good. Really good. So you can do check -1 and then recovery +1. In an Angewomon deck, this needs to go in it if you're trying to run Angewomon. This card has way too much value. It gets a B, but honestly, this is probably a high B. It's almost an A for sure. Next, Rice Greymon is going to receive a C, mainly because this is a tamer heavy card. It is both yellow and red, which is good. We have a lot of cards that going with this as far as Greymons and yellow cards go. It's when Digivolution effect, you may play 1 yellow or red tamer card from your hand without paying its memory cost. And then if Rice Greymon or X-Antibody is in the Digimon Digivolution cards, you can -2 DP on one of the opponents for each of the tamers that you have. This card would be amazing in a yellow hybrid deck. However, as of this video, Jet Sylphimon has been limited to 1, making that yellow hybrid deck essentially moribund. It's not gonna be a run quite as often as it. In addition to that, it also gets for each tamer you have in play, the Digimon gets played 1000. This is a very tamer heavy card. It syncs with a lot with it, whether it's yellow or red. Neither of those decks is going to be running a lot of tamers anytime soon. Yellow hybrid is been nerfed. Red hybrid just not a whole lot of reason. A lot of this card is going to receive a C. Raigenmon and Magnadramon. Both of these cards are okay. I don't think they're great. Raigenmon in particular is going to get a C+. You can pay 1 memory to put it under a Raidenmon or a Justimon, and it gets inherited ability. When attacking one of your opponent's Digimon, it's -4000. That's a really good ability. I like it a lot. But you need to have specifically Justimon or Raidenmon. I don't think there's really a whole lot of people running Raidenmon in their decks. Justimon could be, maybe. But this is going to take the spot of a level 6 in your deck. I don't think you want to do that for a deck when it can have a lot of better options. And also when Digivolving, you can trash 1 card with Machine or Cyborg. you have one of your opponent's Digimon thousands. That's a combo that can be put together. Either way, you could take out 4,000. That's a pretty good number, but not super powerful. It's not a super strong Digimon. That's gonna get a C plus. Magnetramon I like a lot more. It's gonna get a B minus. And Digivolve for Magnetramon is the level 6 X-antibody version. If you have a Magnetramon or the X-antibody option in the evolution cards, all of your opponent's Digimon and security Digimon 1,000 for each of your security stacks. So if you have a full security stack, take out 5,000 DP. I think that's a lot better, to be honest, than the 4,000. And likely if you're running this card, you're probably running regular Magnetramon and or the X-antibody along with like the 9 for Gatomon. And then at the end of your attack, you may add the top card of your security stack to your hand to unsuspend. So this card could potentially double check your opponent at the end of the attack, meaning that you get to swing, see what happens with the attack, and then decide if you want to swing again. So you don't have to make the decision, which is pretty cool. This card gets a B minus. It would be higher, but I don't see a lot of decks running multiple copies of this. I don't see able to. Next, we have Magnamon X-antibody and Awakening of the Golden Knight. Both of these cards are cool. They go in the Armor Rush decks. Magnamon is straight up A. This card is incredible. It's if you have a Magnamon and a Digivolve from it, you can Digivolve for 4. You skip level 5 and go up straight to level 6. Then, on your opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, if a card with Armor form in its traits or X-antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, you may switch the target of attack to this Digimon. So you can do like a taunt situation. It can take away from the other cards as long as there's an Armor form or X-antibody on this card. Also, all turns when this Digimon would be deleted, you can place the top card of this Digimon on top of your security stack face down to prevent that delete. So, assuming your opponent is going to try to kill one of your other Digimon, and you have this one out there with an Armor 4 or the X-antibody under it, you can switch the target to this Digimon, and then if this Magnamon would be deleted, then you can put the Magnamon card itself to the top of your security stack, and whatever's under will still remain on the field. You keep it from being deleted, essentially negating your opponent's attack while putting this card on top of your security. Yes, your opponent will know that it's your 11,000 Magnamon, but you essentially negated an attack from your opponent with this one, and that's solid, pretty good ability. Awakening of a Golden Knight is a B minus, but it does go along with Magnamon. If you run this Magnamon, you're pretty much gonna run Awakening of the Golden Knight, and what it does is, while you have a Digimon with armor form, you can play this card without meeting the color requirements. So whether we're going with Flamedramon, Ragemon, or anything like that, you can Digivolve one of your Digimon with armor form and it's traced into a Digimon card with Magnamon in its name. So either this X-antibody Magnamon or regular Magnamon if you want to, without paying the memory cost. The Digimon that Digivolve by this effect can't have its DP reduced. So one of the things about armors is that they can easily be killed with DP reduction, because not only does it break the armor, but it also destroys the Digimon under it. But if the DP cannot be reduced, then that Digimon is going to be staying alive. That's pretty good. So this is a pretty good card to pair up with armor Digimon and armor decks. Its security effect is that it returns one Magnamon to your trash, from your trash to your hand. Pretty solid. Next, TK and Izzy. So TK and Izzy is an interesting card. I don't think it's super useful. It is going to get a C+, however, because probably put it in a couple of. So the way it works is if you have a level 5 or higher Digimon in play, you gain 1 memory. If your opponent has a level 5 or Digimon in play, you gain 1 memory. So if you and your opponent have a lot of high level Digimon, this card could come in handy. When one of your Digimon digivolves into a yellow or green Digimon, you can suspend this to -1000. It'll probably get you to beat over a few Digimon, which is good. But honestly, this is not super good. I don't see a lot of people running this card. It is yellow and green, and if you have like mix going on, this could probably really strongly complement, for example, a Rapidmon deck with a lot of level 5s and things like that. So if your opponent has a level 5, you gain even more memory, and you can add to the -1000 for Rapidmon, for example. I like it. It's a C+. Not incredible, but I still like it. but I don't think anybody's going to be running it. Next, Sunrise Buster. You may play one yellow or red from your hand without paying its memory cost, and then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 for the turn for each yellow and. I'll be honest, this card is okay. It probably should be getting a C. I'm giving it a D plus only because yellow tamers and red tamer based decks are not super out there, especially with the nerf. The reduction of the amount of that Sylphie monster you have in your deck. Yellow's getting nerfed. Red doesn't run a whole lot of tamers typically. So this card doesn't have a whole lot of use. Playing a tamer for free is pretty solid. This card does cost 5, so you could just drop the tamer. And then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 for the turn for each tamer that you have in play. Again, there's not going to be a whole lot of tamers out there, but that is a solid effect. Minus 2,000 for each tamer for a cost of 5. That's pretty solid. I want to give this a C. I just don't think it's going to be run in a lot of decks. And you need both colors to activate it. That's all. It also has that against it, so you need to be running McDonald's to get this. Alright, so that'll do it for the yellow cards in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Our YouTube is now at 70 subscribers and growing. Thank you guys for doing so. You've been awesome, and I definitely want to thank you for everything that you've done. Please keep watching. Please leave the comments. Let me know what you would like to see more of, and let me know what I can do to improve this channel, and and then have a more growing community of Digimon players, because I do love this game. I think it's awesome. I love making videos for it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.